My name's Chris Carey. I'm the president and founder of Modern Automotive Performance, and I just got back from Crown Rally. It was a hell of a weekend. I was very fortunate to take our brand new 2020 Toyota Supra on a road rally. I believe it is the first 2020 Supra to participate in such a rally since the release of the vehicle. So Friday morning was actually Thursday night was the launch party. I was unable to attend that, had a concert to go to, but showed up bright and early Friday morning for the launch out in Minneapolis. I think there was 125 cars of all shapes and sizes, different varieties, so it was quite the spectacle. Police escort out onto the highway, and just a fantastic experience leaving Minneapolis with this group of tremendous vehicles. So quite a good time on Friday morning, and from Friday morning our first stop, several stops on the way to Milwaukee, and that's where we ended the day at the Milwaukee Art Museum. Didn't see a whole lot of the town of Milwaukee, but the experience at the Art Museum was awesome. I mean, they had a huge entry into the museum where all the cars lined up. There was a tremendous reception of people there that were there to check out the cars, and then we ended up having a catered dinner there that again was just top quality. The guys at Crown Rally really know what they're doing, and just had a great time. It was a great way to end the first day. Obviously from Minneapolis to Milwaukee, some amazing driving. They're taking us from one point to another with the sole intent of bringing us on the best driving roads in Minnesota and Wisconsin. We came over a hill on a backcountry farm road, and you could see the road for miles. And there was no cars, no nothing, so I got up to, I think I hit, and that's when my risk tolerance kicked in, and I'm like, oh, okay, we lose a tire or something, we're gonna slow it down. But got up there pretty quick, and it was just cruising along, felt perfectly stable. So arriving at Chicago, a little less fanfare than Milwaukee. We ended up at I believe the largest parking ramp in downtown Chicago. We had the top 1 or 2 levels allocated for the Crown Rally cars, so that was pretty cool to just pull in there. A little bit of a Tokyo Drift type experience as we were pulling into the parking ramp, as there were no vehicles on some of the higher levels. But yeah, it was just, again, another top quality location by the organizers of the event. And at that point, we were ready to get some R&R, so we kind of called it a night and hit the town in Chicago for a great dinner. It was a great experience, and the car was a lot of fun. I was a little apprehensive about it to begin with. Last year I took our 2012 Nissan GTR, which has a little bit more power than the Supra does, but we were able to get this tuned, throw on the downpipe and the catback before we left. That added, I think, 70 horsepower and 100 foot-pounds of torque, which was critical. I think really increased my enjoyment throughout the rally, as I was able to keep up a little better than what I thought I was going to be able to. So the power delivery is fantastic. It makes great sounds. The transmission is phenomenal. Not as fast or crisp as the GTR, but for a torque converter transmission, the paddle shifters were fantastic. It was very fast shifting. I was super happy with it. We had a private track rental for Crown Rally, so we had the whole north track to ourselves, 3 run groups. I was able to get out there in the intermediate group and just see what the car had and really get a feel for the suspension, the braking, and really put it to the test in terms of the performance. Suspension had a little bit of body roll to the car, but I think that can be rectified easily with some aftermarket springs or potentially coilovers. And then the braking system held up very well for the first 4 or 5 laps, and then you could start to feel the brake fade. And I think that can also be rectified whether we go with some slotted rotors or different brake pads, or look into using the ducting that Toyota has provisioned for the braking system in the aftermarket. So driving the Supra is definitely a unique experience. I was very surprised when I first got into it that there were no back seats. That was something that I guess I was not aware of before hopping into the car. So a true 2-door coupe, 2-seater is the first I've ever driven, but from a handling perspective, a power perspective, all around a very nice performing vehicle. Also gets a ton of looks. You know, it's brand new. People haven't seen them out on the road, but definitely drew some attention. I think we added to that with the wheel and tire package that we put on there. But feeling very fortunate that I was able to bring a brand new 2020 Toyota Supra on the Crown Rally this year. The plan was to once again take the GTR, and I was very happy we were able to switch gears last minute and bring the Supra. Fun little car. Like I said, it exceeded my expectations in regards to the handling of the car, the comfort of the car, and actually the performance of the car. This feels great. I think stock, it was maybe a little bit underpowered, but I think that the aftermarket is going to be able to fill that gap for relatively affordably. So I'm excited about that. I'm also really excited for what if we added a little bit more power. And my understanding is that this engine can handle it, and if we could get it to 500 wheel horsepower and whatever the corresponding torque is, I think it's going to be even that much more exciting. Just gives me a little bit of a taste of what we can expect for this platform, and I'm very excited to see what the MAP team is able to do moving forward from both a tuning and hard parts perspective, and very excited for the aftermarket for the 2020 Toyota Supra.